Welcome into a new video. Today we have top 10 things you may have missed in season 3 of The Mandalorian, episode 1. So to start, first thing we're going to talk about is the Clan Vizsla flag.
You'll see on the left-hand side, you will see the emblem of Clan Vizsla, which was basically a predecessor to Paz, which is also noticed inside this scene here. You'll see the flag adorned on the left with their actual clan symbol that goes back generations from pre-Vizsla and Tar Vizsla, which was Jedi Tar Vizsla.
And that pretty much means he's coming from that. Like, are these like the two sides of the families that are kind of like joining together?
Yeah, so I'm guessing what this actually is. So obviously they're initiating this child into Vizsla, Clan Vizsla, which is a representation like the Mandalorians, and then their
Yeah.
clan. I'm guessing it's their family or whatever it is. They're just initiating him to be a Mandalorian.
Okay. So he could be like related to that bloodline pretty much then, correct?
Yeah, so he potentially could be either Paz's son. He's probably that bloodline, which is interesting because this could potentially be like he could be a Jedi at some point. He could be a Mandalorian in the future. You know what I mean? Like it's a pretty big Easter egg, especially being that they visibly show Clan Vizsla.
So number 2, we got the Purgles. So these are the semi-sentinel creatures. You could see how big they are in the clip as well compared to the starship. These things are pretty much space whales. A couple of cool things about those is they do go the speed of light, so they're able to jump, solar system to solar system. And then we also have the connection to Ezra as well. In the animated series, he was able to speak to these creatures and have a connection with them. So there could be some foreshadowing to either Admiral Thrawn or us just getting to see Ezra in this series as well. So I think that's a pretty cool part of this episode, just foreshadowing what we could see in the rest of the season.
Right. And so for number 3, I don't know if you missed it, but on Navarro, you can actually witness R5 and the EV droids when Mando and Baby Yoda are walking through. This is a callback to the prequel trilogies for R5 and R2-D2 when Luke Skywalker had chose a broken droid, which had a broken servo unit. EV, which was he was the one that was torturing the Gonk droid inside the sandcrawler, or if he was there torturing him there. But they have them both, sitting in Navarro, kind of little special Easter eggs that you can see in the background. We also see the COO droid from the newest trilogy, which he's the chef droid, one that you'll see as they walk through Navarro right in the beginning. He's there cooking, and you can see chefs looking for things to purchase. You can see him wailing his 6 arms.
Number 3, what I'm going to do is the monkey lizards. So for the monkey lizards, these were other creatures that I believe were seen in either previous movies or previous episodes as actually being cooked. Yep. And you could see them like on their like a pig roast rotisserie, and actually being able to see them on Navarro, kind of just living. And there's a bunch of them. There's a good amount of them living in the trees up there. That was another little Easter egg that Navarro is being prosperous, and they are able to, live there without the fear of getting cooked.
The thing you might have missed was the statue of IG-11. IG-11 featured in the episode where he was hunting Baby Yoda, but then was turned to actually help Mando. Djarin used him to fight Imperial forces, and you can actually see the statue dedicated to him is standing on Stormtrooper.
Other cool part about that is that there are actually some of his actual pieces too. As you'll see later in the episode as well, they end up taking those to use it. But the fact that they made the statue with some of his parts that they actually were able to salvage. And number 5, we have the Anzellan creatures. So as you have seen in previous ones, a favorite of the last trilogy that they did do was Babu Frick. He was pretty much somebody who worked on the droids. They're very useful for that, just for their size. They're able to get in and be able to see tiny little parts, and they're able to get places where most people can't. So I think they knew that was going to be popular, so they ended up throwing it in this series as well. So they give you a bunch of different Anzellans that are working here as well. And as you could tell, baby Grogu really enjoys the Anzellans as well.
The next one that you might have missed would be the R-41 Star Chasers. We believe that's what these ships are that the pirates are flying in, which are, they're a known pirate vessel that they use to see them actually being used by pirates. But this is something that you might have missed.
The number 8 that we have is the Gorian Shard. So this is the Pirate King. So this is actually this guy was pretty cool to see because this is the first time that he's actually introduced and we've ever seen him in any Star Wars movie or episode or animated series. Pretty much this big Pirates Caribbean green looking guy. We don't know too much about him other than that he is just he's the king of the pirates of this group of pirates that have been linked with Navarro.
Inside of Bo-Katan's castle, you notice a mural on the wall that depicts, the Great War and them fighting and surviving through. It looks like she has the darksaber. She's stabbing with the dark. That's what it looks like, but somebody is using, a sword type of thing on the wall, which would represent the dark.
Is that the Civil War mural?
Yep.
Yeah. The other cool thing about this scene that I was seeing as well was how she's sitting on the throne. So she's actually sitting very much like Darth Maul when he was again in the Rebel series, or I don't know if it was the Rebel series or just the Clone Wars series, but he sits very similar on the throne like she does as well. So it'll be interesting to see if she will be the antagonist in this season during that Civil War, like you were talking about with that mural. So a little nuances like that go unnoticed, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's great. So our last thing you might have missed was the bat creature that's hanging out in Navarro on top of this random citizen's shoulder. And behind it, you'll actually see a Mon Calamari as well, which is a known species, especially that fought the Rebel with the Rebel Alliance. If you guys made it this far, we really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you want to go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for stopping by and hope you guys come back.